From the time I was a young boy, I was captivated by the world of sound. My mother, Eliza, the woman who filled my childhood with love and laughter, was losing her hearing. As her world grew quieter, my fascination with sound grew stronger. I would spend hours listening to the chirping of birds, the rustling of leaves, the murmur of voices, trying to understand the intricate dance of vibrations. Little did I know then that this childhood fascination would set me on a path that would forever change the world. Growing up in 19th century Scotland, silence was a constant companion in our household. My father's passion for helping the deaf speak was infectious, and I found myself drawn into his world of vocal cords and sound waves. I became his apprentice, learning the intricacies of speech and the mechanics of sound. We would spend hours experimenting with tuning forks, resonators, and all sorts of contraptions. It was during these formative years that the seed of an idea began to take root in my mind. An idea that would one day blossom into an invention that would break down barriers and connect people across continents. Even as a boy, I was a tinkerer, an inventor at heart. But it was the challenge of bridging the silence that truly ignited my inventive spirit. I delved into the study of acoustics, poring over books by the great minds of science. Could we harness the power of electricity to bridge the gap between distant voices? This question became my obsession, my driving force. Our family home in Edinburgh, Scotland was always filled with a cacophony of sounds. My grandfather, Alexander Bell, had dedicated his life to the art of elocution. My father, following in his footsteps, became a renowned elocutionist himself. He wanted to unravel the mysteries of speech itself, leading him to develop a system he called visible speech. Growing up surrounded by these passionate men, it was perhaps inevitable that I, too, would inherit their fascination. The Bell family legacy was about bridging the gap between sound and silence, about giving voice to those who struggled to be heard. My father was more than just an elocutionist. He was a gifted educator, deeply committed to helping the deaf learn to speak. I vividly recall the hours I spent observing him work with his students. With infinite patience and unwavering encouragement, he would guide their hands, shaping their mouths into the correct positions for each sound. His dedication was inspiring, his methods innovative, and his impact on his students profound. I knew then that my life's work, like my father's, would be dedicated to breaking down the barriers of silence. Visible speech, my father's proudest achievement, was more than just a system of symbols. It was a bridge across the chasm of silence. Each symbol represented a specific position of the vocal organs in producing a particular sound. The impact of visible speech was far-reaching, adopted by educators and therapists across Europe and America. My father's work, initially met with skepticism, gradually gained recognition and acclaim. For me, visible speech was more than just a scientific marvel, it was a personal inspiration. It ignited within me a passion for working with the deaf, a passion that would shape the course of my life and ultimately lead me to my most groundbreaking invention. Growing up in the shadow of such accomplished men, I was both privileged and burdened. The Bell name carried with it a legacy of innovation and a dedication to serving humanity. Could I, with my own passions and pursuits, carve out a place for myself in the world while honoring the family tradition? Little did I know then that my journey would lead me to a discovery that would not only revolutionize communication, but also connect the world in ways no one had ever imagined. The bustling streets of Edinburgh faded into the background as I stepped into the hallowed halls of the University of Edinburgh. My father had instilled in me a thirst for knowledge that extended far beyond the realm of sound and speech. The university, with its rich history and renowned faculty, was a breeding ground for intellectual curiosity. I immersed myself in my studies, devouring knowledge like a man parched in a desert. My days at Edinburgh were a whirlwind of lectures, debates, and late-night study sessions. I gravitated towards the sciences, particularly physics and anatomy. Yet, even as I explored these new intellectual frontiers, the echoes of my father's work followed me. I realized that to truly make a difference in the lives of the deaf, I needed to go beyond visible speech to find a way to transmit sound itself. After 2 years at Edinburgh, a new opportunity arose. My family and I embarked on a new adventure, crossing the border to London, where I enrolled at the prestigious University College London. University College London, with its emphasis on scientific inquiry and practical application, proved to be the perfect environment for my burgeoning interests. I delved deeper into the study of acoustics, exploring the work of pioneers like Hermann von Helmholtz. As my understanding of sound and its transmission grew, so did my determination to find a practical application for this knowledge. The idea of transmitting human speech over long distances began to take shape in my mind as a tangible possibility. I spent countless hours in the laboratory, experimenting with tuning forks, electromagnets, and various materials. The allure of the unknown, the challenge of pushing the boundaries of what was considered possible, consumed me. My time in London wasn't solely dedicated to academic pursuits. The city offered ample opportunities for inspiration and personal growth. It was during this period that I met a young woman named Mabel Hubbard, a former student of my father's who, despite being deaf, possessed a vibrant spirit and a keen intellect. Mabel's unwavering belief in me, her encouragement in the face of my countless setbacks, fueled my determination. Little did I know then that our paths, intertwined by fate and a shared passion for sound, would lead us both on an extraordinary journey of innovation and discovery. Mabel Hubbard was no ordinary woman. Though deafness had shrouded her world in silence from a young age, it had not diminished her spirit or her zest for life. Ours was a love that transcended the barriers of spoken language. We communicated through a tapestry of shared glances, gentle touches, and written notes that flowed like whispered secrets between us. Mabel saw beyond my endless experiments, my late nights in the lab, my often frustrated attempts to harness the power of sound. Mabel's deafness, far from being an obstacle in our relationship, enriched it in ways I could never have imagined. It forced us to communicate on a deeper level, to develop a language of the heart that transcended words. We developed our own unique form of sign language, a blend of existing systems and intuitive gestures that flowed effortlessly between us. We learned to truly listen, not just with our ears but with our hearts, to understand the unspoken language of love and empathy that binds two souls together. Mabel's resilience in the face of her disability was a constant source of inspiration to me. She refused to let deafness define her or limit her experiences. She was an avid reader, devouring books with the aid of a magnifying glass, her mind a treasure trove of knowledge and wit. She was a skilled horsewoman, her love of animals a testament to her compassionate nature. And she was a staunch advocate for the deaf, believing wholeheartedly in their right to education and inclusion in a world that often marginalized them. Her unwavering spirit, her ability to find joy and purpose despite the challenges she faced, fueled my own determination to succeed. I knew that if I could invent a device that could give Mabel back the world of sound, a world she had never truly known, then I could revolutionize communication for countless others living in silence. Mabel's unwavering belief in me became my anchor in the storm of my research. She never doubted I would achieve my goal of transmitting human speech over wires. Her faith in me exceeded my own at times. We shared a dream of a world where distance was no barrier to human connection. Together we were determined to turn the dream of the telephone into a reality. Our Boston home, a modest dwelling on Brattle Street, became my sanctuary, my laboratory of innovation. The air within its walls crackled with the electricity of ideas taking flight, of experiments daringly conceived and meticulously executed. Every room bore witness to the chaotic beauty of the inventive process, transformed into a testament to my relentless pursuit of the elusive dream, to capture the human voice and transmit it across the abyss of space. Wires snaked across the floor like metallic vines connecting batteries, coils, and magnets in a symphony of electrical currents. Notebooks overflowed with scribbled diagrams, equations, and observations, each page a testament to countless hours spent wrestling with the mysteries of sound and its transmission. The scent of wood shavings, soldering flux, and strong coffee permeated the air, a heady aroma that fueled my tireless efforts. Mabel, my steadfast companion, navigated this labyrinthine world with grace and understanding. She never complained about the constant hum of electricity, the piles of discarded prototypes, or the late nights that stretched into dawn. Instead, she offered unwavering support, a soothing presence amidst the whirlwind of my endeavors. My days were consumed by a relentless cycle of experimentation, each attempt building upon the lessons learned from previous failures. I experimented with a mind-boggling array of materials and configurations, each holding the promise of success, yet each ultimately falling short of my ambitious goal. I explored the potential of vibrating membranes inspired by the intricate workings of the human ear. I harnessed the power of electromagnetism, intrigued by the invisible forces that could transmit energy across space. I even delved into the realm of liquids, attempting to transmit sound waves through water, a testament to my willingness to explore every conceivable avenue. Each experiment, successful or not, brought me one step closer to understanding the complex dance between sound, electricity, and the human voice. With each iteration, my workshop notes grew more detailed, my diagrams more precise, my understanding of the underlying principles more profound. Frustration, that constant companion of any inventor, became an unwelcome guest in my workshop. There were days when it felt like I was groping in the dark, my path illuminated only by the faint glimmer of hope. Yet, even in the depths of despair, I refused to surrender to defeat. I learned to embrace frustration, to view it not as an obstacle, but as an integral part of the creative process. It was in these moments of apparent defeat that the seeds of true innovation were sown. And then, on that fateful day in June of 1875, a day that would forever be etched in my memory, a breakthrough occurred. I was working late in my workshop, the air thick with anticipation, when a faint but unmistakable sound reached my ears through the tangle of wires and instruments. It was a sound that sent shivers down my spine, a sound that ignited a spark of hope in my heart, the sound of a human voice, transmitted not through the air, but through the magic of electricity. I'd been experimenting with a new type of transmitter, one that used a vibrating diaphragm to modulate an electrical current. As I adjusted the tension on the diaphragm, my assistant, Thomas Watson, working in another room, accidentally plucked one of the transmitter's reeds. The sound, faint but clear, traveled through the wires, setting my own receiver vibrating. It was a moment of pure exhilaration, of triumph hard won after years of relentless pursuit. The impossible had become possible. The dream had taken its first tentative steps towards reality. "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." My voice, hoarse with excitement, echoed through the workshop, summoning my astonished assistant. As he rushed in, his eyes wide with disbelief and awe, I knew our lives and the world would never be the same. We spent days and nights testing and refining our invention. Each successful transmission filled us with wonder and accomplishment. Yet even as we celebrated, we felt we were just scratching the surface of something profound. The news of our invention, the electrical speaking telephone, spread like wildfire, igniting the imaginations of people across the globe. What had begun as a personal quest to give voice to the silent world of the deaf, now had the potential to revolutionize communication for all humankind. We showcased our invention at exhibitions and public demonstrations, the air abuzz with excitement as people witnessed firsthand the magic of voices traveling through wires. The clatter of telegraph keys faded into the background as the world embraced the immediacy, the intimacy, of the human voice transmitted across miles of copper wire. Skepticism gave way to astonishment, then to unbridled enthusiasm, as the realization dawned that the telephone was not merely a novelty, but a transformative technology that would reshape the fabric of society. Investors clamored for a piece of the future, eager to be part of this technological revolution. With each passing day, the web of telephone wires grew denser, connecting cities, towns, and eventually, continents. The once isolated islands of human experience were now linked by a network of voices, carrying news, ideas, and emotions with the speed of electricity. The rhythm of life accelerated, fueled by the immediacy of long-distance communication. Business deals were struck, families reunited, love declared, all through the miracle of the telephone. Distance, once an insurmountable barrier, now seemed to melt away as voices bridged the gap between continents. The world marveled at the speed and efficiency of this new mode of communication, but for me the true magic lay in its ability to connect hearts, to bridge the emotional distance between individuals separated by circumstance. I thought often of my mother, her world rendered silent by deafness, as I witnessed the transformative power of the telephone unfold. While she never fully experienced the joy of hearing a loved one's voice over the wire, I knew that the invention born from my desire to connect with her had brought solace and connection to countless others. The telephone became a lifeline for the elderly and housebound, a portal to the outside world for those living in remote areas, a source of comfort and companionship for those separated from loved ones. It empowered businesses, accelerated the pace of commerce, and gave rise to new industries and opportunities. The world had embraced the telephone, not just for its technological brilliance, but for its ability to fulfill a fundamental human need, the need to connect, to share, to overcome the isolation of distance and silence. As I reflect upon my life's work, I am filled with a sense of gratitude and humility. The invention that sprang from a young boy's fascination with sound, fueled by a son's love for his mother, had blossomed into something far greater than I could have ever imagined. The telephone is a testament to the power of human ingenuity, to our innate desire to connect with one another, to bridge the gaps of distance and difference that separate us. It is a tool that has amplified the human voice, facilitated understanding, and brought the world closer together. And as the world continues to evolve at an ever-increasing pace, driven by relentless technological innovation, I am confident that the simple act of connecting, of hearing a loved one's voice, will remain a timeless source of comfort, inspiration, and human connection. The story of the telephone is not just my story, it is a testament to the power of human curiosity, to the audacity of dreaming big, and to the unwavering belief in the possibility of turning those dreams into reality. It is a story of perseverance, of countless hours spent wrestling with complex problems, of embracing failure as a stepping stone to success. The path to innovation is rarely a straight line. It is paved with setbacks, frustrations, and moments of self-doubt. But it is within those moments of adversity that true ingenuity flourishes, that our resolve is tested, and our character is forged. It is through embracing the challenges, rather than shying away from them, that we discover our true potential. The invention of the telephone was not merely about transmitting sound over wires, it was about connecting hearts, bridging distances, and amplifying the human voice. It was about breaking down barriers, fostering understanding, and creating a more interconnected world. And so I challenge you, the dreamers, the innovators, the future architects of our world, to embrace the power of your own curiosity. Do not be afraid to challenge the status quo, to question assumptions, and to push the boundaries of what is considered possible. The world needs your ideas, your passion, your unwavering belief in the power of human ingenuity to solve the challenges of our time. The legacy of the telephone is not just a story of the past, it is a call to action for the future. So go out there and make some noise, invent, create, connect. The world is listening. And who knows, perhaps your voice, your invention, your contribution to the world will be the next to echo through the halls of history. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next story.